I am Dr. Chandramani Adhikari from Syed Gangal National Heart Center, Kathmandu, Nepal. I am going to discuss uh, the success behind the device closure therapy in Syed Gangal National Center, as well as three interesting cases which we have done within this last 5 years. So Syed Gangal National Heart Center is a government funded hospital. It was established in 1995. It has 240 bed and it has 4 catheters and laboratories. We started AC device closure in the year 2007, but till 2015 we have done only less than 50 cases in a year. But from 2016 onwards, the number of cases has increased, and for last 2 years, 2 successive years, we have done more than 200 cases of AST device closure. And in 2020 February, we completed 1000 successful AST device closure in National Heart Center. Our device closure cases, we can divide this 1000 case in two different groups. The first group is from 2007 to 2015. In those years, we did 174 cases. All of them were done under general anesthesia under transesophageal echocardiography guidance. But from 2016 to 2019, we did 779 cases, and most of them were done under local anesthesia and under transthoracic echocardiographic guidance. The reason is, over the years we have improved our experience. With this experience, we could do these cases under local anesthesia and under transthoracic echocardiographic guidance. The only thing when we use general anesthesia or transesophageal echocardiography since 2016 is when the cases are a little bit complex, when the imaging is not good with transthoracic echocardiography, then only we will go for transesophageal echocardiography. So we have published our audit on recent experience of arterial septal device closure at Syed Gangal National Heart Center. In this study, what we have shown is our success rate is 98.4%, which is comparable to international studies. Not only that, the in-hospital complication rate are less. This is also as per the international standards. So our success rate is good, our complication rate are low, which means that our device closure success is good, and this therapy is comparable to the international standards. So now I am going to present three of our interesting cases. The first case is a little bit rare case. It's a device closure in dextrocardia situs inversus totalis case, and we all know that dextrocardia situs inversus case affect approximately 1 out of 10,000 children, and then out of those 10,000 children, to have a AST which is switchable for device closure is almost very rare. So it was a 36 years old male diagnosed as dextrocardia and arterial septal defect. This case was referred from some other hospital for device closure. So we did echo. In echo, we found that it was abdominal situs inversus dextrocardia, IBC and SBC draining into left-sided right atrium, pulmonary vein draining into right-sided left atrium, AV and VA concordance, great arteries relation was normal. The AST was 126 centimeter in size, left to right shunt, mild TR with TRPG of 24 millimeter mercury and dilated RA and RB. So it suggests that there is an indication for device closure, and we even did TE to see whether that AST is suitable for device closure or not. So it revealed that there was dextrocardia with arterial septal defect of 1.7 centimeter in size with left to right shunt, and the only finding that is different from that was his aortic rim was absent while all other rims was adequate. So what we decided was we can do AST device closure in this case. So device closure procedure was done under local anesthesia, transthoracic echocardiography guidance. Right femoral vein was cannulated and adequate heparinization was done. JR catheter with Terumo wire was used to cross the AST, and JR catheter was placed in the right upper pulmonary vein. So in this case, you can see that live images when we did the device closure, and on this image you can see that the device has been released. The echocardiography finding shows that the device is in good position. This X-ray shows that the patient had dextrocardia. So what was the challenge in this case? The imaging of the AST was the challenge, because we all know that whenever there is a dextrocardia, it is a little bit difficult to image the heart, and also that abnormal orientation of the intra-arterial septum, left atrium and the right atrium, and other structures should be taken care. That is the reason we should be very careful in parking the wire in the pulmonary vein. That is the most difficult part. We need to take special action to put that wire or the catheter in the pulmonary vein. Otherwise, the device closure procedure is easy. This type of case was reported in only there was only one case reported in the literature, that was published in Indian Heart Journal. It was done by some Indian authors about the successful AST device closure in dextrocardia with situs inversa totalis cases. So let's go to the next case. This was an interesting case of AST with PS, and the BPB was done with the PTMC balloon. This was a 22 years old unmarried girl referred with the diagnosis of AST and PS, and in this case we can either go for surgery or device closure plus BPB. But what we thought in this case is, as she is an unmarried girl, she is 22 years old, so doing a bypass surgery in this case will be a little bit a problem for social reason, not for other reason, but because of the social reason. So what we decided is, we will look for suitability of device closure of AST or not, then we will plan for BPB, and then only we will do a AST device closure. But if AST is not doable for device, then what we thought, we will send this case for surgical closure. So what we did is, we did TE, and it revealed that AST can be successfully closed with the device. So we planned for BPB followed by a AST device closure. So you can see the AST in the first image. You can see the AST with left to right sound, and then this suggests that there is a PS. So what we did is, we planned for BPB for the first time. First we attempted a BPB. So we tried with TISAC balloon, but the TISAC balloon was not stable, was unstable, and it got bradycardia and hypotension because of the longer inflation and deflation time. So we attempted BPB with a PTMC balloon. So what we did is, we put up LA wire in pulmonary artery. Then what we did is, we introduced a PTMC balloon, and we inflated the PTMC balloon. With this balloon, the balloon was very stable, and we got a very good result. You can see that pre BPB, it was the gradient across the pulmonary valve was 54 mm of millimeter mercury, but after the BPB with the PTMC balloon, the gradient decreased significantly. It was 31 millimeter mercury. So after that successful BPB, what we did is, we sent the patient home and called her after a month. So she came back after a month. Then we again looked for the pulmonary gradient, and it was around 26 millimeter mercury. We did a successful AST device closure with a 28 mm of ASO. This was the result. This was the image with the device. So PS and AST can be managed with transcatheter intervention. If AST is suitable for device closure, then we can go for a intervention, that is AST device closure and pulmonary balloon pulmonary valvoplasty. And to do these two cases through transcatheter approach helps to avoid scar and surgical related complication, and PTMC balloon can be used with great success in the treatment of pulmonary stenosis when TISAC is not stable and it doesn't give a good result. And the third case is not the interesting case, is a complication of AST device closure. In this case, when we were trying to do the device closure with a device, then the device suddenly got embolized. She was a 56 years old female referred for AST device closure, and we attempted to close that AST with a 34 mm ASO. Multiple attempts were made for device deployment, but the thing is, we could not deploy the device. So what we were thinking was we'll do the AST device closure with the balloon assisted technique. So we were trying to get the second venous puncture. In the meantime, what we notice is, as we have left the device outside of the delivery system, the device get embolized. That was at the beginning phase of our device closure procedure. I mean, it was 3 years back, so we are not that much experienced. It was our mistake that we kept that device outside of the delivery system. So suddenly what we notice is the device got embolized. So you can see that the device was embolized on the right upper pulmonary vein. Then what we did is we tried to snare it. So you can see here, device was successfully snared and it was pulled inside the delivery system. Then we just were able to keep the device inside the delivery system, and then we just remove that device. And then what we did is, on the same setting, we got the under puncture from the left side, and then we introduced the balloon, and with the balloon assisted technique we successfully deployed a 38 mm ASO device, and then the patient was discharged after 2 days. So what the take home message: device closure should not be left outside the delivery system except during the deployment, and then after multiple attempts of device deployment, device may get unscrewed from the cable. So after a few attempts, the device needs to be screwed to the cable by bringing the device out of the patient, and then again screw it so that the device doesn't get immobilized. Thank you.